So we got some news to tell you guys. You guys all know and love the General Grievous, but we got some bad news. Back on was it March
30th.
March 30th, my wife was driving him, and she ended up wrecking him on complete accident. So I want to have her explain what happened, what was going through her head. First, what happened, what caused the accident, and what was going through her head. Everyone was safe. Everyone was taken care of. The General Grievous did his job. He kept everyone safe.
It busted my head open.
Yeah, well, he punished her for wrecking him. But I want to let her explain what happened, because I was at work, and she was the one driving him.
Okay, so what happens that our kids are homeschooled, and we go and attend a local homeschool hop with a bunch of other kids. And we were taking a field trip in the next town over. My morning was going okay, but it was running late. So we ended up leaving half an hour later than what we were supposed to. Not a big deal. It was only 15 minutes to the next town. Our insurance actually tracks us through an app of our location. So I left the house at exactly 10:14 that morning. At 10:21, suddenly the vehicle started swerving towards the lane, not the lane, but the lines on the right side of the road, the barrier, and you start hearing the da-da-da-da. It's like, oh, okay. So I go and I turn it just slightly, and it feels like the car's actually being pulled that way when it did that. And so when I went and turned it, all of a sudden, the General decided to go into the next lane towards oncoming traffic. And I actually almost hit someone, swerved the vehicle over to the back into our lane, and there was so much momentum, it rolled. We ended up flipping, I think, twice, and we landed upside down in the end. Luckily, everyone was okay. I actually had my head go out the window at one point. And I vividly remember, but also vaguely thinking, I need to get my head back in. And in that process, I guess that's when I hit my head. I actually had to have 6 staples put in for that. We landed upside down. My kids are all luckily okay. My oldest was in the front seat because we have 4 kids. I asked them all if they were okay. I told him, Joseph, I'm going to drop you, okay? I'm going to buckle you. And he's like, okay, got his arm out for him to catch himself, crawled out, asked our other boy who's sitting in the middle, Daryl, who's 6, and said, okay, Daryl, can you unbuckle yourself? And he's like, yeah. Both get out. Instantly, my kids are trying to get help. There are people already coming out trying to help them. They ended up getting Steven out of his car seat. He's in a booster. They didn't have to cut him out or anything. They were able to unbuckle him and bring him out. The doors don't open because of the way they wreck. I got myself out and actually got stuck by my belt, but untangled myself. And I couldn't get out, though, with the car seats in the way that they were. So, the last person to get out was me, but before that, we had to get Riley out, who wasn't even 1 year old yet. She just happened 2 weeks before her first birthday. They ended up cutting the seatbelt to the car and took her face and her car seat and her all out at once, and they were able to beat that door open. And it's the back driver's side that they got the door open, so I was able to climb through finally on my own. And yeah, and instantly they're helping us. I realized I don't have my hearing aids in because the wreck had thrown them off. I had just the earbud, not the hearing piece itself. So amazingly, we found them all.
Yeah. The paramedics, when I finally got there, the paramedics ended up telling me that she couldn't find her hearing aids. They were looking for her for the hearing aids. I get out after I get there, and I'll tell you my side of the story. But when I got to the site after I checked on her and got to check on the kids, I was looking for the hearing aids. I saw the pile of glass of the driver's side door, And there it was, just kind of in the glass, her piece that she actually had the bud still in.
Yeah, luckily,
and this was already after the paramedics and the police were already trying to scan the area looking for her hearing aids. It wasn't until a couple days later we found her other one.
Yeah, we went back to the wreck to see if there was a chance that we could find it, and he walked up to it. There it was.
Yep. Again, they cleaned up. I mean, they did a really good job cleaning up the wreck. The only time you can tell that there was a wreck there was literally there was a pile of transmission fluid stained on the road.
And the grass from when we skidded.
So when I walked up there, I was just looking at the dirt. There was some glass on the ground that they missed, but it was covered by the grass.
They were really good about
I'm looking at it, and I pushed some of the glass away, and I hear it squawking at me. And there's the full hearing aid for her other ear on the ground, still working after we had a rainstorm.
It's like, what the?
Whoever made these hearing aids are freaking awesome because they were able to survive the wreck for one, and then one of them survived
a day of rain,
a massive rainstorm the day before. It was a pretty big one.
Well, I wouldn't know. I was drugged up.
Yeah, she was on pain pills.
I was on pain pills and muscle relaxers. The whiplash. Oh my goodness, the whiplash was bad. My oldest is propping pillows up behind my back to help me out. He's all like, "Mommy, are you okay?" No, Mommy's not okay. And yeah. So I'm just real thankful for the kids were okay. I was worried about them. And they get us out and I'm instantly Joseph's like, "Why isn't she touching me?" And I'm like, "I'm covered in blood."
Yeah. So my side of the whole thing, what I got was I was working and I got a phone call. Normally, it's a scam call, so I don't normally open my phone and look at it. But after I was on with the customer, I double check because it's just to make sure. If it's a 541 number, an Oregon number, 99% of the time it's a scammer. But it was an actual Kansas number, a 620.
Yeah.
And so I figured, oh well, this had to be because the only people who call me over here are people who know me. I called the number back, and it's a random woman I've never met before. I said, "Hey, your kids are fine. They were involved in a car accident. You might want to come over here and come get them and everyone, So
and that was just a random pedestrian that was helping us. That wasn't a paramedic or anything.
No, what I was told from her was my son, Joseph, 10 years old, gets out of the Jeep and helps his brother and then immediately starts demanding people to call 911 and I need someone to call my dad. He looked at her, knife hand her like a freaking drill instructor and says, "You need to call my father." And so
which is exactly what they teach to do in case of emergencies, and we never taught them to do that, so that was even better.
She calls, and that's what was going on. But he took control of the whole situation as soon as he got out of the Jeep, and I am so thankful for that boy. I freaked out. I couldn't even clock out. I was like, my wife was in an accident. I got to get going. I was driving the Challenger because the Jeep was still having her freeze plugs blew, and so Catherine was down at the moment. So I was driving the Challenger. Samantha, she was driving the General. I get in the Challenger and I'm racing through town. I hit 130 easy. Caught attention of 3 different cops. They're chasing me through town. It was like a high-speed chase. I get over to the intersection of the highway and this road, and I go over it, and they see the lights, the fire station and all. And I guess they put 2 to 2 together because they backed off. They turned around and went away. I get there, and I immediately see the General crushed and a puddle of red by the driver's side door. I'm going to try to do this without choking up and crying because
you thought the worst.
I thought the worst. I thought the absolute worst happened because she didn't say anything about if Catherine was okay.
She didn't know at that time, no problem.
And so my face must have dropped. I know my heart dropped. The cop that was there saw it, immediately went, "No, she's okay. She's in the ambulance behind you. Do you want to talk to her?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to talk to her." I get in there. They have Riley in there, and they're playing with they have a little bear in there, and she's cracking jokes to keep herself calm. And
Wait, they were in the ambulance too?
Yeah.
I didn't even see them.
No, you were there, but you were cracking jokes, and as soon as you saw me, you started crying.
I tried not to. I was literally like, it was one of those situations where I didn't want to break down in front of the kids because I was so anxiety ridden and so, yeah.
Yeah. She starts apologizing. You start apologizing for wrecking the Jeep, ruining our summer. It's not ruining our. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Sorry for my language. I don't give a fuck. I was happy to see it. She was happy, and she was not happy, but she was okay. I mean, she was covered in blood.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun getting that, washing that out.
And they take her. I mean, I didn't go with her because I had the other kids with me. I took all 4 kids in the Challenger and dropped them at home. And I was going back and forth between. I went to check on her in the hospital. And that's when I told her I brought her other hearing aid, so she was actually able to hear a little bit.
But my ears all swollen at the time, so I couldn't even do anything.
She couldn't even put them in. But later that day, after they did a CAT scan and an MRI.
No, they did a CAT scan and an X-ray.
Okay, X-ray. And after they deemed that she was okay, they put staples in her head, and I had to come and pick her up.
I did not like that neck brace. I was in that neck brace for like a couple hours, and it was the most uncomfortable thing. I think I was in more pain from that than the actual wreck.
It wasn't supposed to be there for your comfort.
Well, it was rude.
It wasn't there for your comfort. It was there for making sure you're okay.
Like, stop moving. No.
At the moment, as the general is, we're still waiting on the insurance to determine what they're doing. I mean, they said it was, a collision.
It wasn't a collision.
I know, but under the insurance terms, they deemed it as a collision, and then they're responsible for paying out. And we haven't heard anything yet. You guys
don't know how insurances are.
Yeah. At a local towing company that I deal with at my job all the time, pick him up, and take him to their yard. The next day or two, we end up going there and cleaning out personal belongings just in case something, like we couldn't get them back. It's been over a month now, and we haven't, after they determined everything, we haven't seen anything. They haven't gotten paid. I want them paid so that we can get the general back. So we probably want to turn them into a rock crawler.
Full-time rock crawler, so it will not see the streets again.
No. Unfortunately, his road days and our plans for him to travel the United States are over. He'll probably travel the United States. He probably travels the United States on a trailer, but he'll be doing rock crawling and trail riding. That's if we get him back. That's what we want to do, but what we want and what happens have always been 2 different things. Our goal is to get him back after everything's cleared away and the towing company gets their payment. Insurance, our health insurance covered everything for her, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just getting the towing company taken care of. Insurance our car insurance should take care of that, but we're just waiting for them to hurry up and do it. But it's a hurry up and wait game. Once we get word and figure out all the logistics of getting him out of the tow yard and back home, and then it's just a matter of probably during the winter is when we're going to be doing a lot of the work. We'll probably be putting in a roll cage. We're cutting the roof off because the roof is shot.
I'm sure it could buff out.
Buff out.
I'm pretty sure
it's a Jeep.
if we rolled it over, it would drove.
Yeah, honestly, if we rolled it over and if we put in the roll cage, it probably would have drive home. But
I probably need transmission fluid. Meanwhile, a lot of it was on the ground.
Yeah, a lot of it was on the ground. But overall, though, I'm just happy that the kids and her are safe. If the general can't be saved and it has to go into the yard,
that's sad, but it is what it is.
It's a sad day for that, but we're going to see what we can do to salvage him and
breathe new life into it.
Yeah, put him as a rock crawler and see what happens. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at. We are looking into getting another Jeep for the family, for the overlanding. Might have a prospect on one. We'll see how that goes. It's probably going to be a project Jeep, so it's probably not going to be ready for road for a while, because even though the used car market isn't as bad as it was during the pandemic, hasn't really changed all much. And a lot of people out here overprice their Jeeps, so I got to look elsewhere. But there's a local Jeep that we just looked at, and I think we're gonna jump the ball and grab it.
Rig that runs.
You had a rig that runs. You flipped it.
No.
you flipped it.
No, whatever. Freaking. I swear, you just feel it tug, and it just went. Nyeh! And then it decided to go whoop, and it's just a.
Well, we're joking about it now. I mean, I know we're joking about it now, but it's been over a month for us, and I know you guys are just now hearing about it. People who follow us on Instagram and Facebook. They knew when it happened.
But they don't know the whole story. They just know that it got.
Well, Dan.
Well,
knows,
yeah, Dan.
Because I had to tell Dan, because it was.
That's the first person you told.
Yeah, it was the first person I told. I told Dan.
Not my mother, not my family, not anyone. Dan.
Yep, I told Dan first. I think I told Dan before I did an insurance claim. So.
Well, isn't he special?
Yeah. But we're gonna see what happens. So we're gonna leave you with some of the pictures and some of the little video that we took of it. I was more preoccupied with getting the kids and stuff before I did. I mean, I took pictures for insurance purposes.
Well, but they're still decent.
Yeah, and Travis, the tow truck driver, took a video of them flipping him back over for us. So there's that.
Yeah, and then I have a picture from the junkyard of what it looks like after.
Yeah. So we'll give you guys there. So hopefully you guys stay tuned. We'll definitely keep things going, and we'll let you guys know what's going on with the general. If we're not able to get him home and we kind of have to leave him there because and we have to cut our losses, we'll let you guys know. If that's the case, we're going to keep an eye out for another ZJ. I have tons of ZJ parts that we were putting on him that now are just sitting in my house, not doing anything. But we either will sell them or we will find another ZJ to put them on. Yeah, that's if we can't get the general back. But yeah, we're going to be in the market for another Jeep. I'll let you guys know what that's going to be when we introduce that new Jeep. So yeah, just stay tuned. Sorry for all you guys who came over here from Dan to watch the General Grievous grow and turn into an amazing off-road rig, overlanding off-road rig. No one could have predicted this.
No.
So yeah, we will definitely keep you guys in touch. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.